Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lucy and I run Lula Rocks. Today I am going to be doing a video all about click and drop. Now you may have already seen my previous video that was filmed a few years ago about click and drop, but if you haven't, feel free to check it out, especially if you are just starting out shipping, because it is super handy to know how to ship using Royal Mail click and drop. So I'm going to be answering your frequently asked questions and giving you some tips and tricks to help you along your journey. This video is probably going to be in two parts because there are so many questions on my original click and drop video that I just don't think I'll be able to get it all done in one video. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, the next few questions are all going to be to do with setting up international customs and all that good stuff. Okay, customs info. At the time of filming the click and drop tutorial, I hadn't set up all of my customs information on here. Click and drop pulled through that information from, I think, my Etsy and my Shopify, and then it kind of starts to remember, oh, you said this was this much in weight and this much in cost and this was the customs code, and it starts to kind of remember what you've last put in for that product or that SKU. But now I have put in all of my customs information, and I would sincerely recommend you do the same if you ship internationally. So I will show you my spreadsheet. I would recommend you set up something similar to this. The information that I put in this spreadsheet is the name of the product, the SKU number, which you have to make sure is on Shopify and Etsy, because that is how it pulls it through. It's from the SKU number. If you don't have that SKU number in Etsy and that order comes through, it's not going to know that this information relates to that product. So it's really important that you have your SKU number set up for each product and that is in whichever web platform you're using. The weight in kilograms, the price of the item, the country of origin, the customs code. Do not copy these customs code because there is no guarantee that these are correct. I would do your own research. And then just a customs description, art print, green card, bookmark, bag of sweets, whatever it is that you're shipping. That is all you need to do, and make sure that all of that information matches in all of the web platforms or whichever sales platforms you're using to ship your orders or take your orders. Make sure it all matches, and then you just upload this into Royal Mail. You map the field, so let's have a look. You go to products, import, upload a file, upload the file. The first row is the header. Okay, so my name field relates to the name. I've actually named them the exact description that's in Royal Mail so that I knew what I needed to match them up with. And then you just import your products. Now what I will say is you have import mode up here, create, update, or create an update. I normally do create an update, and that means if I make any changes to that spreadsheet, it's going to update them in Royal Mail click and drop. It's not just going to upload new ones. And basically every time I get new products, I just update my Royal Mail spreadsheet, and then I upload it, and jobs are good. And basically that will then pull through all of that information into your international customs label, so you don't have to enter anything. It is such a time saver, so I would definitely recommend you do it. Okay, another feature that I wasn't aware of until I was actually filming the video is that you can have your signature and the date already set up to go on your customs label, so you don't have to manually fill it out. So at the time I was like printing out these labels and then having to sign and date each one, and like when you've got a lot of parcels it just becomes a bit of a chore, whereas now I don't have to do anything. So to do that, we want to go to settings and customs, and then I have some defaults set up. I have a default country of origin because most, not all, but most of my products come from the UK, and most of the time I am selling the goods. They are not gifts or what else is on here, or documents or anything like that. So I have those set up as standard, and then I can always change them if I need to. But obviously with my customs data being uploaded, it will automatically know, oh, okay, your enamel pins are made in China. So it will change that for me. And then over here, you can click automatically sign and date customs declaration documents. And you want to upload a like PNG or JPEG of your signature. I think it might have to be a PNG. And it will automatically work out the date, and then you can preview it. There we go. So it's got my signature, it's got my date in it. That is all you need to do. I'm not going to talk about IOSS right now, but here, HS code and description auto lookup. It looks like when you start typing stuff in, it will kind of recommend codes. If ever you're not sure, you can always look at the gov.uk website to get your codes. Basically, just type into Google HTS codes or custom codes, and it should come up with one of the web results should be for the gov.uk, and those will be like the official codes. Okay, let's talk a little bit more in depth about international shipping, because I think a lot of people get really put off from shipping internationally or to specific countries because they have like specific rules. I just want to clarify that I am not an expert in this field and I can't give anybody legal advice. Obviously, I wouldn't want to recommend something, you do a specific thing and then you get in trouble. I don't fully understand every single thing about the legalities of sending things abroad, but I've never had any issues myself. So what I will say is with IOSS, as far as I understand it, you can choose whether you want to use IOSS or not. IOSS is all to do with like the tax, and I believe you pay to have like an IOSS account and an IOSS number. And it means that you like collect the tax from the customer and then you pay it to the powers that be on behalf of the customer. I don't use IOSS. I don't have an IOSS number. It means that the customer has to pay tax directly to the powers that be on delivery, as far as I'm aware. If I'm wrong, please correct me. That is about all I know about it. Etsy has an IOSS number because they collect the tax, so you have to make sure that that IOSS number is on your parcel so that the customs people know that tax has already been paid by the customer. But for my Shopify, I don't do that, and I let the customer deal with it because that is just the way I've chosen to do it. So as far as I'm aware, it is up to you how you do that, but that's all IOSS it means, and it doesn't mean that if you don't have an IOSS number, you can't ship abroad, you can't ship internationally, so you're still good to go. EORI, this is something that you do have to have. If you are based in the UK, you need to have an EORI number. I don't remember how you apply for it, but I'm pretty sure if you just literally Google EORI number, let's have a look. EORI number, and go on the gov.uk site or gov.uk site. There you go, apply for an EORI number, start now. So you can apply on the gov.uk website, and you do need to put it in here. You want to go to settings, trading names, click on your trading name, and there is an option to fill out your EORI number once you've got it. Now, I believe the actual application process didn't take long. I don't think it was difficult. You just need to have this EORI reference number, and that needs to be in here. And then I think you add it into you can add it into like places like Etsy and Shopify and things like that, I think, as well. Obviously, I'm only talking about Shopify and Etsy because those are the only ones I use. But I think the same applies for things like eBay and things like that as well. Next, LUCID ID. Have you ever heard of this? To do with Germany shipping? Does it put you off shipping to Germany? Because it did me. When shipping to Germany, you have to have a license now. What you need to do is you need to pay for a license. Now, I use a site called Activate by Reclay, or just Reclay. Reclay, LUCID, Reclay Group. There we go. Packaging license. And what you do is you work out roughly how many tons or whatever the measurement is of packaging you are going to be sending to Germany in the space of a year. And you pay for the license for how much you think you're going to put in. So I would go off of what you've sent or how many Germany orders you had the last time you shipped Germany orders. That's all I do is I look at last year's figures to see how many orders I sent to Germany. Let's say it was 10. So then I look at how much the packaging items weigh. For example, like paper and cardboard, I think is one thing. And then like plastic and like non-recyclable things is like another. So you work out, okay, this is how much cardboard and paper goes in one order. Times that by 10. Maybe add a few more on if you think you're going to grow next year. And then you buy your license. Then what you have to do is you have to sign up to LUCID, which is a little bit more confusing. You sign up for like a LUCID account, and I think you have to basically put in the information to show that you've purchased a license, and then you tell them your projected, this is normally once a year you have to do it, you tell them your projected import of these materials. So I think I'm going to send this many tons in, and then at the end of the year you say, okay, I actually sent in this many tons. Next year, I think I'm going to send this many tons in. And then at the end of that year, you go, oh, okay, actually, I sent in this many tons. And every year you have to get a new license. If you are signing up to LUCID halfway through the year, you have to do an intra-year report. I think that's what it's called, which is basically like a mid-year report. So you say, okay, there's like 6 months left of the year, so I think I'm going to send in this much. But then from then on, the process would just be, once a year, at the beginning of the year or the end of the last year, you say, this is how much I've used, this is how much I'm going to use next year. And that is the process. It seems more complicated than it is, but once you start doing it, it's like, oh, okay, is this it? But you know, obviously if you don't want to do it, then you don't want to do it. So up to you. Okay, another very popular question. What printer do you use for your labels? Now, when I was filming the original tutorial, I was using my Epson XP960. I do not recommend you use that for labels. It is a printer for art prints. It has like HD ink, which is very, very expensive. And it's an absolute waste to print your labels on it. So do not purchase it just for shipping labels. I have switched to a label printer. I have a thermal label printer, which is behind me here, this pink little beauty. Now, this was gifted to me from MUNBYN. It is a MUNBYN thermal label printer. I would 100% recommend it. Yes, it was gifted to me, but I would recommend it. I would never recommend something that I didn't believe in. I absolutely love it. It prints labels so quickly. It's super awesome, and you can also print small labels as well. So I use it for my shipping labels, and I have these holographic labels that were gifted to me, and I print out cute little stickers to go on people's orders and seal tissue paper. It's super easy to set up, and you can print labels from your PC, you can print them from your phone. Like I said, it does shipping, it labels, it does stickers. You don't need any ink. And MUNBYN are also giving you 20% off. So I will leave the link down below and also up the top somewhere, as well as the code that you'll need if you want to get one for yourself. But I would not recommend using the printer that I used to use. Now, you can use any printer. You can use a laser printer, a toner printer, whatever you've got available to you. But like I said, I would definitely recommend, if you are thinking about getting a thermal label printer, the MUNBYN one is awesome. This one has a cute little stand, as you can see, which means that the labels go underneath. And it is a super space saver, because I do not have a lot of room in this new den of mine. It's kind of stacked up and all nice and neat, and it doesn't take up a lot of room on my desk. Okay, next question. How do you know how much to charge customers for shipping? What I'd recommend is going on Royal Mail's website and finding their latest prices, setting yourself up either a spreadsheet or some kind of a notepad if you want to do it manually. Work out where you ship to, because you might not be worldwide like me. I ship everywhere. Everywhere that will have me, I ship everywhere. So I personally have different rates for different places, and all I do is I look at how much Royal Mail charge, and then I add on the average cost of my boxes. I say average because I have all different sizes of boxes, and they all cost a different amount, and obviously the bigger the box, the more tissue paper is going to go in. So I work out an average, and for all of my shipping supplies, and I add that on to each price. And then obviously if you're going to offer tracked shipping, I have a section in my spreadsheet for tracked shipping, where again I add on that packaging price to each one. That then gives me a rough cost for shipping, and that is what I charge my customers. On the Royal Mail website, they normally have like a PDF that you can download, and it will show you, it looks like a leaflet, an online leaflet, and it will show you their most recent prices. Now, Royal Mail's prices go up a lot. Multiple times a year they increase their prices. That is how I work out my shipping price. Another very popular question. Can I put it straight in the post box? Yes, you can. Let me just clarify. You can put your parcel straight in the post box once you have paid for your shipping label, you have printed said shipping label, and you have stuck the shipping label to your parcel. You can then just put it in the post box. That is it. That is all you have to do. Next question. Can I put international packages in the post box? Yes, you can. The only difference is you need to have your customs label attached to the back. So you print out your normal label and your customs label. You can put it straight in the post box. Next question. Can I put track parcels straight in the post box? Yes, you can. So you literally just print your label, you stick it on, and you shove it in. That is it. That is it. Speaking of post boxes, there are a few restrictions, I suppose. Firstly, if you've got a parcel, not a large letter size, so like an actual full-on parcel, you can't fit them in a normal post box. So personally, I used to take them into the post office counter that was near ours, and then after I did my click and drop video, I had lots of you lovely lot saying, oh, did you know that there are parcel post boxes around? And I was like, what? My mind was blown. So I looked it up and there was one around the corner. So from then on, I just started taking my parcels to the parcel post box. And again, nothing changed. Label goes on into the parcel post box. So definitely have a look and see if there are any parcel post boxes near you. If there are not, then you will need to take it probably to a post office or post office counter. However, please bear in mind there are sometimes charges from post office counters now for them to take your parcels. It's not every single parcel. I don't know whether it's just tracked or whether it's parcels of a certain size, but just bear in mind that you might get charged for dropping something off at the post office now. What I will say is you can arrange a collection for up to 10 parcels at a time for free through Royal Mail Click and Drop now. Now that never used to be a thing before. So now I don't take my parcels to the post box, big ones. I don't take them to the post office. I just get them to come and pick it up because we don't have a parcel post box near our new house. The closest one is like probably 10 minutes of driving. So my only option for big parcels is either post it at the post office counter and pay, or get Royal Mail to come and pick it up. It is a little bit 50-50 with regards to whether they actually pick it up. I think it depends on your location and the post worker that comes to pick up your post, because at our old house I had someone who basically refused to collect parcels and was like, I don't have them on today. And I was like, but it says that you're collecting them today. Well, I don't have them. And they could never scan them. They just didn't know what they were doing. They would try and scan them and be like, it's not working. Since I've moved here, our post worker comes and picks them up, I'd say 9.9 times out of 10, and never has any issues with the collection. There's been a few times they just haven't collected it, and then I get an email to say, I'm sorry, we couldn't collect your parcel. And then I just arrange a new collection or take them myself. But it's grand. It's a lifesaver. So yeah, if you've got any parcels, that is a good shout. If you can't get to a parcel post box, get Royal Mail to come and collect them for free. Where do I find the tracking numbers? If you have paid for a tracked service, there's a few places you can get them. Once you've downloaded the label and you open it up as a PDF ready to print, you can literally see the tracking number on each label. Or alternatively, all you have to do is you find the order that has the tracking number you want to find. And over here, as you can see, we've got tracking number. I mean, I'm going to have to blur this out anyway so that you can't see it, but your tracking number will show up here. Now, if it doesn't show up here, you can choose which columns are showing for you. It might be that tracking is not ticked for you. So just make sure you tick that and you'll be able to see the tracking number. Obviously, not every parcel will have a tracking number. It's only if you do a tracked service, pay for a tracked service. How long do I have to post it? Now, pre-COVID, it used to be 1 day, but since COVID, they realised actually that's a bit harsh. We're going to give them a week, and it has stayed that way. So you now have a week from paying for your label. You have a week before it has to be posted. I'm sure your customers would want their orders as soon as possible, so don't be like me. Don't forget to post them. Can I get proof of postage? You can if you want to go in the post office. You cannot get proof of postage if you post it in the post box because it is a physical, like, I think, piece of paper or something that they stamp. So yeah, my method of just shoving it in the post box, no, I don't get proof of postage, unfortunately. Next question. What do I do if I don't have a printer? Now that's politely put because this particular person said, not helpful at all. I don't have a printer. I'm sorry that it wasn't helpful because you don't have a printer. However, if you don't have a printer, it's not a problem. So I thought I'd answer this in case anybody else doesn't have a printer and found my video a little unhelpful. When you pay for your postage, you should get an email come through with the label QR codes. And I believe if you take it to the post office, not a post office counter, but an actual post office, I think there's somewhere where you can scan QR codes and it will print your labels for you. Also, if you are arranging a collection through Royal Mail for your 10 parcels a day or however many you're allowed to do, I think there is an option for them to provide the labels for you, so you don't even have to print them yourselves, but you might have to pay a little bit more for that. I'm not sure because I've never used it. However, even if you don't have a printer, there are ways around it. Okay, so I'm going to leave the first part of this video here because otherwise we're probably going to be filming all day. So I hope that was helpful. As always, I am not an employee of Royal Mail and I'm not an expert at click and drop, but if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them below and I will do my best to help you out. I always read my comments and I will try my hardest. If you do have any technical issues, I would definitely recommend getting in contact with Royal Mail directly because they should be able to help you out. Don't forget, I will leave the link and the details for the thermal printer below in case you want to get 20% off of your own. Thank you so much, MUNBYN, for sending it to me. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you again soon for another video.